Welcome once again to Thought for November the 6th. Our readings are taken from 2 Chronicles chapter 35, Hosea chapter 3 and Acts chapters 18 and 19. And our thought is from the King's Possessions. Our Chronicles reading today tells us of how a Passover celebration was organised by King Josiah, and that no Passover like it had been kept in Israel since the days of Samuel the prophet. And Josiah was highly thought of, but 13 years later he got unwisely involved in a conflict between Assyria and Egypt and was fatally wounded. There was great sadness. Jeremiah also uttered a lament for Josiah in 2 Chronicles 35 verse 25. Jeremiah must have been a young man then. Well, after his death, it took less than 23 years and the reign of 4 weak and unspiritual kings before Jerusalem and the temple were utterly destroyed. Is there an underlying reason for this collapse of spirituality? The nation and the people had seemed to reach such spiritual heights with such a Passover and a righteous king. The probable answer lies in the detail of today's chapter. In keeping that impressive Passover, it was the king, the priests and the Levites who provided the sacrificial offerings, which totaled an enormous amount of livestock, 37,000 lambs and 3,800 bulls. Josiah himself providing most of them from the king's possessions. 2 Chronicles 35 and verse 7. So this great Passover did not cost the ordinary people anything. Was it no more than a great free feast for most of them? Prophets led by Isaiah had repeatedly warned the people that they must have the right attitude in approaching God. You meet him who joyfully works righteousness, those who remember you in your ways. Behold, all our righteous deeds are like a polluted garment, wrote Isaiah in Isaiah chapter 64 and verses 5 and 6. After Josiah's death, the people were led by kings of all of whom did evil in the sight of the Lord. And people likewise were exceedingly unfaithful, we read in 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 14. God provided his Son, Jesus, as a sacrifice for us. Do we fully appreciate this? Does it affect our conscience, our hearts? If our appreciation is only intellectual, a ritual in which our heart is not meaningfully involved, the final outcome will be as great a disaster as it was in those days. Thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, remembering that they are a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.